It might be one of the most popular Winter Olympic sports around, attracting throngs of cowbell-ringing fans everywhere it goes. But did you know that snowboarding was actually banned by most ski resorts until the 1980s? Right, chill out, mate. Chill out. The ski resort. So, how did snowboarding go from the bad boy of the slopes to Olympic glory? Even though snowboarding is a relatively young sport, it has a colourful history. Snowboarding made its Olympic debut in 1998 at Nagano. Then, there were just two snowboarding events, giant slalom and halfpipe. In Pyeongchang, there'll be 5 opportunities to win medals for both men and women. Perhaps the most eye-catching of these is the Big Air. Brand new for Pyeongchang, Big Air is like the last jump in a slope-style course, only bigger. Like, much bigger. The one in Pyeongchang is 49 metres high. To put that into context, that's about as tall as Nelson's Column in London, which is just a bit smaller than me. So how does it work? Boarders fly down a steep ramp that resembles a ski jump. They then do one big trick as they fly off the jump. From the moment they fly off the ramp, the snowboarder has about 2.5 seconds to impress the judges. That's not a lot of time. There are not a lot of things you can do in 2.5 seconds, but here are just some of them. It's just a little bit less than the current Rubik's Cube world record, which currently stands at just over 4 seconds, which I will demonstrate for you right now. Nailed it. So, what are snowboarders thinking about as they fly through the air with the greatest of ease? And what are the physics behind pulling off a move like, say, the triple cork 1620? In order to execute 4.5 rotations, all while flipping 3 times off-axis, the snowboarder requires incredible athletic powers. But let's break it down even further. On the approach, the athlete crouches down low to pick up speed. It's by increasing his velocity that he gets the biggest air. As he hits the edge, the athlete straightens his legs and angles his upper body towards the tail end of his snowboard. This initiates the rotation, since there's no way to do this once he's in the air. After the first spin, the rider tucks his body into a ball to increase his angular momentum, just like figure skaters tucking their arms into their bodies. Around the third flip, the rider might crouch down and grab the board to help maintain the rotational speed even longer. Straightening up for the final 1.5 spins allows the athlete to slow down and start gauging the time left until the landing. And how do they nail that landing? The answer is saccadic eye movement, obviously. Flicking his gaze over a few reference points on the landing area. As he lands, he actually starts looking in the opposite direction of the spin, which helps to pull him out of the rotation. And finally, to avoid landing on an edge, the rider must ensure he stomps the landing. You can certainly see why Big Air is set to be one of the biggest events in Pyeongchang. But would snowboarding be so popular today if it still had its original name? Legend has it that snowboarding began in 1965 when Sherman Poppen, what a name, tied 2 skis together to make a toy for his daughters. The new game was dubbed Snurfing, a hybrid of skiing and surfing, and it quickly spread. But perhaps the most famous snowboarder of them all is actually not a real snowboarder at all. Fictional super spy James Bond performed a snowboarding chase in A View to a Kill. And sorry to break it to you, it wasn't really Roger Moore doing the snowboarding. It was legendary snowboarder Tom Sims who was his stunt double. In fact, seeing James Bond on a snowboard is credited with helping to popularise the sport and help it break into the mainstream. As James Bond would say, you only live once.